Thank you, everyone, and good evening. I am Cindy Rowe, JALSA's President and CEO, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all to JALSA's annual meeting. First, a heartfelt thank you to our event co-chairs, Claire Cooper, Leslie Reed, and Joe Rettman. Tonight could not have been a success without your commitment. And thanks to our leadership committee, our honorees, the board, advisory committee, and the elected officials who have joined us tonight. Senator Becker Rausch, Reps Cataldo, Lawn, Owens, and of course our honorees, Rep Balzer, Rep Khan, and candidate for State Rep Amy Sangiolo. So welcome to all of you. We are able to thrive because of you. The people in this room who have cared about our shared values and are willing to match that caring with action and resources. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, NEI General Contracting, to our partner sponsors, CJP, Bill and Nadia Lane, and the Miriam Fund, to our benefactor, Eastern Bank, to our patrons, Beth Israel Leahy Health, Dorfman Capital, Judith Obermeyer, and Keith Construction, and to all of the many other sponsors and supporters in our room. And welcome to all of my CEO and Executive Director colleagues, and a big thank you to JALSA's staff who made this evening so special, especially Kara Brickman, Tamar Lewis, and Lynn Peters. Last year at our annual meeting, I shared with you my fears about the erosion of democracy and the loss of our freedoms. We were starting to see with disbelief what the Supreme Court could take away in an instant, and we asked what else could vanish. I told you then, that is why JALSA is here, that across history, the Jewish people have had a love affair with democracy, with our Constitution, and with laws that ensure our freedoms. The freedom to vote, the freedom to marry, to determine our own paths. Because it is in a free democracy that our Jewish values flourish. And tonight, after what we have seen this year, it is clear that JALSA must continue to stand up against those who would seek to divide us, to take away our rights, and to erode our very humanity. We are not living in the world as it should be quite yet. We are not living in a world in which every individual is treated with dignity and respect. And until then, JALSA will be here. I want to share with you a few personal reflections about what this year at JALSA has meant to me, and why I need you to be in this fight with us. First, let's talk about the arrival of new immigrant families to our state. As resettlement agencies, such as those here with us tonight, the International Institute and Jewish Family Service of Metro West, began to move families into motels, those already traumatized families and children became targets for hate groups. In response, we brought together many of you with over 350 Massachusetts leaders across housing, faith, philanthropy, and business to denounce the hate and reassure families that our Commonwealth was a welcoming place. We spoke directly with President Biden, with our congressional delegation, our governor, and our state legislators. And we've gotten results, coming up with creative ways to direct critical state and federal resources into providing permanent homes for our new arrivals. And JALSA learned that by combining our expertise in policy with the on-the-ground knowledge of our direct service providers, we could create an ongoing collaboration that was unique and powerful and could amplify our impact. Next, I want to share with you something about book bans. I know this may be hard to believe, but I was not always the glamorous CEO that you see standing before you today. Picture a kid with glasses and braces growing up in the Bronx. Books were my refuge, and getting my library card was one of my first memories. I was an English major in college because what could be better than spending 4 years reading and seeing the world through other people's eyes, developing an understanding of cultures and experiences very different from my own. And now, there are extremists in our country trying to deprive people of this very experience based on their own cynical political agenda, as those in past regimes have done when trying to break apart the bonds between neighbors. Banning books has become a go-to tactic for those who seek to divide us and who seek to eradicate empathy from the human experience. I had hoped to see the national Jewish community step up to combat book bans in more visible ways. When that didn't happen, JALSA stepped in. You may be shocked to learn that in 2022, Massachusetts had the 4th highest number of attempts to remove books from shelves. So JALSA championed state legislation. We started a banned book club. Over Passover, many of you supported Let Our People Read, our campaign to fund the purchase of banned books for our nonprofit partner in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they are now prevented from teaching children Black history, and where books are actually being removed from public school shelves. Finally, I want to discuss abortion. Any person who has been pregnant knows the visceral fear of something going wrong. And things can and do go profoundly and tragically wrong. Or maybe it's just not the right time. Whatever the reason, it's for us as individuals to have the freedom to decide, not the government.
Amen.
You, our committed volunteers, demanded that JALSA find and give you meaningful ways to act. Together, we advocated for the Location Shield Act, so patients from any state seeking reproductive care here in Massachusetts couldn't have their cell phones traced. And JALSA was asked by our colleagues around the country to coordinate the national Jewish phoning and texting operation for abortion ballot questions in Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. And we will be doing the same for Florida and Arizona. And that's just the start. Throughout the year, we take on many more issues: affordable housing, wage justice, climate change, gun violence prevention, school meals, and the list goes on, so that JALSA can passionately pursue our mission. However, I must highlight the bottom line for JALSA. Everything we do as part of coalitions. Multi-faith, multi-ethnic, cross-cutting coalitions with people who share our vision. Meanwhile, white supremacists are using anti-Semitism to further their own agenda, scapegoating the Jewish community and trying to make us the other. We know that all of hate is interconnected. It is also clear that our freedoms are interconnected. In a time of political turmoil, our collaborative relationships are everything. When JALSA is in the room, our Jewish values are on full display. And this is crucial to increasing our understanding of one another and to dispelling anti-Semitism where it may arise. Through our coalitions, we share our hearts, our goals, and become true partners. This is how we create allyship, and I have been grateful for the depth of these relationships, especially over these many difficult months. I especially want to note what a painful time this is for our JALSA members who are Jews of color, the Americas, and the diaspora, who are part of many communities and must take on these fights in a very personal and profound way. There is much more we need to do so that all people in our country can be healthy, economically secure, and live lives of dignity. And you, the people in this room, right here, right now, are the ones who can enable us to take these ideas and make them a reality. Now, I know that many of you have supported us so generously already, and I am immensely grateful. But to keep pressing ahead, to realize our vision, We need your increased support. So I ask you, without any hesitation, to double down on JALSA. There is a QR code behind me and on our program and pledge cards all around the tables outside. Your investment in this work, in our shared values and vision, will yield a profound impact. I hope that you will consider making a donation tonight so that our voice can be even more powerful. And I thank you for being on this journey with us, for supporting JALSA, and for making it possible for us to accomplish this work, to think creatively, and to open ourselves up to new relationships and new possibilities. Because it is together that we will get to a better place, to move from the world as it is to the world as it should be. Amen. And to help us create that leadership, I would like to invite up Ariella Lovett, who is going to present our nominating committee report.